You are watching TGZ TV.
The Global Zambian, the only magazine that celebrates quality, cross-culture lifestyle and entertainment.
I am so honored. It's such a privilege to be here to host the Elle Women in Hollywood event. You know, Women in Hollywood, that phrase didn't always mean what it means today, because there was a time in Hollywood when a woman's voice was singular and it was small. It was unable to carry one woman, much less all women. And I'm sure we have all found ourselves to be the only woman in the room, outmanned and outmaneuvered, and our seat at the table would never have been given to us. Like, they would give it to like one woman. Like, yeah, you can do that, but not us, all of us. And tonight we are here as a sisterhood of producers and directors and actors and activists, striving not only to take a seat at the table, but to command the room. And why? Because we know that as women, and for myself as a woman of color and many women of color, the only way we are gonna see the stories of our communities is by telling those stories ourselves. And today, doing it yourself doesn't mean you're alone. Today you stand on the shoulders of the giants that came before you, the Rita Morenos and the Patty Jenkins and the Ava DuVernays. And we get to stand on the shoulders of those women who came before us, and we get to be arm in arm with all of these women who stand beside you, lifting you up along the way. We are a sisterhood of artists whose goal is to strengthen the female voice in Hollywood. And not because we want to, because we have to. And I know I wouldn't be here or anywhere in my career without the support of all these women in my life. One woman in particular who has supported me throughout my career is Kerry Washington. I don't know if y'all know Kerry. Is Kerry here? Kerry's amazing. She's a friend and a sister, and she's gone to bat for me since the very beginning. She believed in my talent when I didn't even know I had talent. And we had a movie set up at Universal. We have a movie set up at Universal, and we were looking for a female director. And we met with so many great directors that just didn't match the tone of what we were looking for. And after every meeting, she would turn to me and go, "Why don't you direct this?" And I was like, "Oh God, no, I couldn't, I'm not ready." And she was like, "Okay." And we'd take another meeting, and it wasn't the right match. And she's like, "Why don't you direct this?" And I said, No, I'm not ready. But finally, like after 5 or 7 meetings, she convinced me that I was ready. And she worked on the pitch with me, and she rehearsed it with me, and she wrote it with me. And I remember we were pitching at Universal Pictures, and it came to the part where I was like gonna launch into like, why me, and why I should be this person. And she saw like I froze, and I was just so nervous. And she stepped in, and if you're someone like Kerry, who has a career like Kerry, you know exactly how to flex your muscles and when to flex your muscles. And she made it a point to mention that she's worked with some of the best directors in the industry. Tarantino, Spike Lee, Ava DuVernay. She said, "I know directors." And then she did something that changed everything. She said to them, "No one is better for this job than Eva." And her words of confidence in me gave them confidence in me. But more importantly, her words gave me confidence that I needed to find in myself. It still makes me emotional. But that is the kind of power that women have when they unite, when we build each other up and we set a foundation for generations of women to come, because we're unstoppable. And that's what tonight is about, is celebrating all these amazing, unstoppable honorees.
Well, good evening, everyone. It is truly my honor to present this award to one of the most gifted, creative, dynamic people I've ever had the pleasure to get to know, Miss Jennifer Hudson. There is something so beautiful about women honoring other women. Being a woman is, in this industry isn't easy. You walk into a room and Sometimes you're the only woman there. But we have learned to stand tall, honey, and make our voices heard. Too often women are pitted against each other, but when we have the chance to show that we can stand together and support one another, like tonight, it is a powerful thing. I was introduced to Jennifer the same time the whole world met her as a contestant on American Idol. And I could tell the moment she started to sing, her presence, she had a standing ovation in everybody's living room across America and around the world. Then I had the pleasure to work with her on Empire, where I was directing. And it was just very interesting how talented she is and was, but also how at that point she really did have a good idea of what she wanted to do. She was playing a church girl who was now coming out into the, world of music, and they had a dress that she was gonna wear, and I said, well, maybe it ought to be kind of long. She said, mm-mm. I said, well, Jennifer, just a little bit longer. She said, mm-mm. She was right. She wore what she wanted to wear, and she was right. She is someone who embodies what it means to be a support system, a friend, a confidant. From the way she shows up for the women in her life to the powerful Black women she portrays on stage and screen, from Effie to the fantastic Aretha. She is someone who is using her gifts to inspire a whole generation of young Black girls. She uses her platform and influence to help those who aren't as fortunate. One of the things I love about her is her enormous heart and her generosity. From always being just a phone call away to starting the Julian D. King Gift Foundation. Jen is someone who is paving the way for other young women who will come after her. I can't think of anyone who could be more deserving. You have been the inspiration for millions of young women around the world. You have shown millions of young girls what is possible. You are amazing, and I'm just happy to be here with you tonight. And you're at the beginning of your horizon. I can't wait to see the rest of your rise. Please join me in welcoming my friend, Jennifer Hudson.
That got me emotional. I'm an emotional girl. Everything comes from the heart. I hope you all know that. What can I say? I have to dedicate this whole moment to Miss Aretha Franklin. I think we all can say she inspired us all. And as I came in tonight, I couldn't help but to look around the room at all the women in the room to see how well we take up space today. And I relate that to the film of playing Miss Franklin, because during the research, I was studying the era in which she grew up in, where women didn't have the capacity, the opportunity, the chance to speak their mind or to take up space. And one of the main things in portraying her that I had to embody and keep in mind is the minimal space that women could only have. And I remember thinking, how am I supposed to play this role when I'm very outspoken? When I walk in a room, you're gonna hear me. I'm gonna say what I wanna say. And then I said, but wait a minute, this is a whole nother era. You can't do that here, because women back during that time of that era could only have little minimal steps, couldn't even say what they thought or how they felt. But to look at us today and see each and every one of us own our own space, we're on the right track. So I want us to all continue to keep up to take that space. And the thing that got me through filming was Miss Franklin's encouragement and her faith that she had in me. And that's what we're supposed to do for each other as women, encourage each other. And that's not an easy task to take on. You can't just wake up and say, I'm gonna be Miss Franklin tomorrow. But it was her encouragement that got me through to be able to do it. And in her teachings, I felt as though she taught me more about life while teaching me about her life. And I'm not a big talker, and I normally get up and I'll be like, oh my God, I don't want to speak, but that's a form of taking up space. So I'm about to start taking up my space outside of song in the way we all should. And I think the unfamiliarity of that has been, we haven't been given those opportunities, such as tonight, where us women get up and are able to speak our minds or have a moment for ourselves or celebrate ourselves, which is why this is such a beautiful event that will encourage us all. And the thing I was going to say was, the biggest thing Ms. Franklin left me with was, Jennifer, own your voice. And my takeaway from the film was, it wasn't until she owned her voice that we got our queen of soul. So ladies, if you took the time to own the voice within you, what queen is within there? That's all I want to say. And thank you guys for such an amazing honor. Thanks for having me. Thank you, Ms. Garcia.
You are watching TGZ TV.
The Global Zambian, the only magazine that celebrates quality, cross-culture lifestyle and entertainment.